Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And for today's video, as what you can see in the slide, itatakal natin yung how much money do you need to show. So, just basically, we're going to tackle about show money, ganun. Kasi ang dami nagtatanong sa akin kung magkano nga ba yung show money na kailangan if they're planning to be a student in New Zealand. Of course, syempre dahil solo tayo, kasama na dyan if mag-isa ka lang na student or the usual na na-encounter ko na question is for a family of four. And that includes one is the student and the partner and the two children or kids. And please remember that all the information that's in the slides are verified by New Zealand Immigration and might as well backed up sa personal experience ko. So I'm not an immigration advisor, but I'm just sharing my real experience. So just be mindful of that. So hindi to purely immigration advice. I would still suggest if you can talk to the immigration advisor, and I know one, I'll just put in the link in the comment or description section kung sino yung kakilala ko that you can email or message. Okay, so let's do this. Ano nga ba yung show money? Show money is just simply means proof of fund. Ito yung pera na sinasabi ni New Zealand Immigration na dapat meron ka na kaya mong suportahan yung sarili mo pagka naging student ka. It can be in cash, bank, or backed by a trusted guarantee before they'll give you a student visa. So, we'll just focus kung ano nga ba yung tinatanggap ni New Zealand Immigration na show money. Based sa experience ko, the cash in your bank account. And ano nga ba yung three parts of show money na dapat meron ka na i-present sa New Zealand Immigration. That would be, of course, your tuition fee since you will be a student sa New Zealand. The New Zealand Immigration would require you to have, let's say, paid tuition. Let's say, ako nag-aral ako ng master's for 2 years kasi to, pero dahil nga, if you will be going back in my videos, nag-online ako sa Philippines ng 1 year and another 1 year sa New Zealand. So, yung 1 year that I have to go to New Zealand, yun yung 1 year tuition na kailangan na, prepared ko din. 1 year of tuition. So, it means kung yun din yung preparation ng amount ng tuition mo. And of course, the second one is living cost or living expenses. Kasi assuming na, let's say, you will be really studying, though you have the edge to work part-time. Pero for the show money sake, living cost is, let's say, a minimum of 1 year that you will be staying in New Zealand. That's the cost or amount na kailangan makita ni New Zealand Immigration sa present mo sa kanilang pera. Or meron pang sinasabing per month for short courses. Kasi may mga short courses din na ino-offer yung mga schools. So, pwedeng, let's say, kung ilang buwan yun, ganun. Pero, we'll just focus more, let's say, kung magte-take ka ng mga bachelors or masters. Kasi doon ako may experience particularly sa masters. And then, third is, ito, return travel fare. Itong return travel fare, ang sa akin dito is yung actually pamasahe ko papunta sa New Zealand. So, ibig sabihin, pag mo-prepare ka ng show money, nandun yung tuition, yung living expenses, tapos yung, anong tawag dito, yung pamasahe mo papunta sa New Zealand. So, bakit nga ba siya importante? So, as you can see, lagi naman ang isa sa mga top reasons kung bakit nade-decline ng student visa is insufficient or yung unclear funds ng isang student applicant sa New Zealand. Particular kasi si New Zealand, yun nga, hindi nga sa numbers, but kung saan galing yung pera and kung gaano siya katagal sa bank account mo. Yun. And later we'll gonna talk about ano nga ba yung mga, let's say, mga iiwasan mo in terms of um, preparing your show money para alam mo na in the near future. Pero basically, ako, in my personal experience, of course, i-relate ko doon para naman maintindihan nyo kung ano yung ginawa ko. Yung tatlong yan, ang ginawa ko dyan is yung yung tuition ko kasi, iba-iba ang mga agents dyan. Yung iba, sabihin nila isama mo sa 3 to 6 months ng show money mo, let's say yun nga, na nakalagay sa bank account. Ang ginawa ko dyan is yung tuition, binayaran ko na ahead of time bago pa kami mag-submit ng student visa application. So, bayad na siya ahead of time. Ang pinaghandaan ko dyan na 6 months na sa bank account ko is yung living costs. And then, for good for 1 year. Na sa bank account ko for 6 months. And then, yung meron akong separate na bank account para sa pamasahe ko. So, dalawang bangko yun. Kasi yung isa sa bangko ng mom ko. Tapos yung isa naman nakasama yung pamasahe at parang meron pa akong konting extra savings doon. Yun yung tawag nito. Yun yung bank account ko. Ayun. Next. Ito, kasi solo tayo. So, for a solo student, at ikaw lang, mag-isa ka lang pupunta na New Zealand para mag-aral, yun. So, how long is your course? Depende siya. Tsaka, kung magkano nga yung pera na ipapakita mo. The usual, yun nga, 36 weeks or let's say, yun nga, 1 to 3 years. Lagi namang 20,000 NZ per year yung kailangan. So, let's say ako 1 year ako nag-aral. So, kailangan 20,000 NZ or equivalent ng 700,000 in Philippine peso per year yung kailangan na nakalagay na show money ko sa bank account ko. And then, if less than 36 weeks, so, ito pala yung required nila is 1,667 NZ per month pag shorter course. And please always remember na ano pa lang to, cost of living pa lang pinag-uusapan natin dito sa 20,000 NZ. So, you have to add yung tuition fee mo at saka yung return travel funds mo or let's say pamasahe mo na lang. Ganun. On top of the living cost figure above. So, let's say, i-compute na lang natin, yung akin kasi 700,000 plus, nag-alat na lang ako ng 200,000 for fare and then extra expenses. So, lumalabas na 900,000 yung pinipare ko na show money since lang naman, 1 year lang naman yung course ko na naaaralin. And then, this is how you're going to prove it. Yan, importante yung bank statement na your, let's say, your show money should sit to your bank account for 3 to 6 months. Ayan, take note. Pero syempre, doon tayo sa 6 months para safe. Para hindi magugulat si immigration na, hala, bakit nagdeposito agad, nakaka-open lang ng bank account niya, nagdeposito siya ng pera agad, ganun. So, always remember that it has to sit into your bank account for 6 months. And then, this one, a signed guarantee from a sponsor called a financial undertaking. Itong form na to, hindi ko lang nalagay dyan kung ano yung exact form, pero kung may immigration advisor naman kayo, ibibigay naman niya yun sa inyo na kailangan nyo fill upan at papirmahan sa what you call this, sa sponsor nyo yung form. Ito pala, naalala ko na. Yung form na yun is, diba? Ngayon ko lang naalala yung ilagay. Ito yung form na yun. Yan. INZ 1014. Yan yung form ng financial undertaking for student. It means merong tao magsusponsor ng either tuition nyo or cost of living nyo, whichever. Basta show money, yun na yun. So, yung form na yun, kailangan nyong papirmahin siya. Yan. And then, kunin yung a bit of her personal details. In my case, it's my mom. So, kinuha ko yung mga yung pangalan niya, number niya, ganyan. And then, signature. Yan. So, I hope it's clear. And if may questions kayo, ilagay nyo lang sa comment section. Again and again, I'm not an immigration advisor. So, this is a mix of personal experience ko na kaya medyo simplified lang talaga yung pag-explain ko sa inyo. And then this one, kasi ang dami nagtatanong sa akin na may pamilya, like single po ako. Anyway, if your spouse and kids, your children are coming with you, we're assuming na yung iba, ito kasing scenario na dito is yung a spouse and children who accompany you usually apply on visitor visa. Depende to unless they separately qualify for a partner work visa or dependent child student visa. So, visitor visa funds rules apply per person. Yun. Different circumstance kasi may mga pagkakataon talaga na let's say, hindi bachelor's or master's degree, minsan nag-under visitors visa yung family members. Pero in my case, or if ang paaralin mo bachelor's or master's degree, usually yung mga yung one of the perks naman nun is yung visa ng mga dependents mo will be under partner of a student visa holder. Tapos pagka mga bata, dependent child student visa. Ayan. So, it really varies. But for this case, may tinatawag kasi silang standard or let's say with prepaid accommodation. So, ano ang difference ng dalawa? Actually, nung nakita ko din to, nabasa ko din to, meron palang ganun. Dahil nga solo lang ako kasi hindi naman bumabago yung requirement, yung amount na kailangan sa akin. Anyway, standard, it means, ito rin kahit visitor's visa, mag-a-apply din siya. Usually kasi kahit visitor's visa, lagi namang ang show money, 1,000 NZ per month na magsistay ka. Yun. Pero, ayun yun yung standard nila. And then yung with prepaid accommodation, it's 400 NZ. It means yung 400 NZ per person per month of stay. So, anong difference? Ito na nga. Yung standard, meaning neto, wala ka pang binabayarang accommodation in advance. So, kasama yung accommodation sa computation ng 1,000 para kay New Zealand immigration. While as with prepaid accommodation, ayun nga, reduced rate if lodging is already prepared. So, ina-assume ni New Zealand na pinayaran mo na yung accommodation mo for 1 year. Kaya 400 NZ per person na lang yung kailangan. Kaya yun. So, sana naiintindihan nyo yung difference ng standard and with prepaid accommodation. Basta standard, wala ka pang binabayaran any of the accommodation, while with prepaid accommodation is binayaran mo na yung 1 year ng accommodation mo. Ganyan. Pero, ito yung sample nung real numbers. Pagka you're a student and then you will be bringing your partner with you and then your spouse, yun, your partner with you and then your 2 children. Sobrang wala ng filter to para ma-upload ko na. Okay. Ayan, may standard na naman in prepaid accommodation kayo nakikita. Pero, for me, at nakikita at usually nakikita ko rin talaga sa mga agents online, mas sinusunod nila yung yung prepaid accommodation. Mas dun sila nagliliin on na basta estudyante ka, tapos pag dadalhin mo yung spouse mo, madadagdag ka ng 4,800. Tapos ganun din yung child 1 and child 2. Yan. So, mas sundin nyo na lang din yung prepaid accommodation. Yun. Yun naman yung nakikita ko halos ginagawa ng mga agents. Yan actually. Yung standard, this is just to illustrate since this is from New Zealand immigration. Actually, I did not know na may ganun pala sila na na standard and prepaid accommodation. Wala lang. I'm learning from this. Kasi, I mean, iba kasi yung preparation sa by the book eh. So, may mga, kaya kita nyo, may mga ina-add din ako na ano ba yung ginawa ko and something. Yan. So, itong figure na to, please note na living cost expenses pa lang to, living cost. So, it means yung gagastusin mo pagka nag-stay ka sa New Zealand. Wala, kaya, bear in mind na let's say kung ang final na need mo i-prepare for your family is kasama ka na is 34,400 NZ, you have to also remember na you have to add pa yung fare ticket nyo lahat. I mean, you have to add it up kasi assuming na pag isasubmit nyo yung show money, hindi naman kayo bibilag agad ng ticket, 'di ba? So kailangan nyo ring anong tawag dito? Kailangan nyo i-add yun. And then at the same time, ayun nga, yung tuition pa, tapos yung insurance nyo pang lahat. So, yun pa yung mga hindi kasama dito sa figure na nakikita nyo. Okay? And then, this one. Wait lang, may babalikan lang ako dito. Okay, kinonvert niya na pala in Philippine peso to na assuming na ang show money mo for or living cost expenses for a family of 4 is 1.2 million in peso. Again, wala pa dyan yung tuition mo, yung insurance mo, yung ticket mo. So, do the conversion. Show money lang to kasi lagi itong tinatanong sa akin. And then ito na yung sinasabi ko na common show money mistakes. Hindi ko naman siya na-experience, no, good thing. Pero always remember na yun nga, yung sinabi ko kanina na red flag yun sa immigration yung sudden large deposit. Lalo na pagka, di ba, kaka-open lang ng bank account tapos bigla mong sinubmit yung bank statement mo sa immigration. Kahit naman din ikaw yung immigration officer, you will have to think na, ala, bakit kaka-open lang ng bank account nyo tapos sinabit niya na yon. So, di ba, baka saan galing yung pera. And then, eto, I don't have the family member yet. Pag ganun tayo, yun nga, sudden large deposit. But kasi wala tong, cursor. Anyway, eto na, under counting family members. Ayan. So, you have to bear in mind na you have to show or let's say, na may funds per family member. Kahit baby pa yan, promise guys, hindi to yung buffet na, oh gosh, 1-year-old pa lang siya, so hindi siya kasali or half the payment. Walang ganun. Kailangan, per family member, meron silang designated funds as what I've shown earlier, di ba? And then, mixing up fund categories. Confusing tuition fee with living cost money or double counting the same funds. Actually, ang pagkakaintindi ko lang dito is yun nga. Okay. Hindi kasi, usually, di ba, iisipin mo na, ay, 1.2 yung yung cost of living ko, baka pwedeng yun na lang muna yung tuition ko. No, hindi. Kailangan separately prepared yung tatlong minention natin kanina. Iba sa tuition, iba sa living expenses or living cost, iba yung ticket. Hindi siya yung, ay, muna, pwede bang yung living expenses or living cost muna yung gawin kong show money para sa tuition? Hindi. Yun, ganun ka-particular ang immigration pagdating sa ganitong bagay. Ayun, yun. Actually, alam mo, naisip ko din yan. Nakukuha ko kayo. Like, I thought of that too, but it's not the case. You have to prepare all of them. Okay. And then this one, ignoring the source of fund. Ayan. So, this is really one of the things kung bakit kailangan yung, halimbawa, bear in mind, dami kong iniisip. Anyway, I'm just thinking of how to explain this. Immigration New Zealand or even any immigration naman would really check kung saan galing yung pera, not just yung final balance. Meron pang part na hindi ko alam kung sinapit ng immigration advisor ko yun, pero pinahanda lang ako ng parang Excel sheet na kung ano yung mga pumapasok sa bank account ko, tapos saan siya galing, gano'n. Para alam ni New Zealand kung saan mo ba kinuha yung pera na yun. In my case, ang ginawa ko na lang para hindi na tayo magulo guys, ito na yung mga bagay na mga ginawa ko na mga for the tips. For the bank account, dalawa yun. Dalawa yung bank account na pinakita ko. Yung unang bank account is my mom's bank account. And then second is yung akin. Para hindi magulo na yung let's say yung bank account ng mom ko is particular yun for my cost of living yun or living expenses, which whatever you call it. And then yung akin naman, yung fare ng pagpunta ko sa New Zealand and other expenses, nandun yun sa aking bank account. And then, hinahanap nyo ngayon, Faith, nasan yung tuition mo? Again, ayun, yun yung kaninang minention ko na yung tuition, iba-iba kasi mga, yung mga agents dyan eh. Yung tuition ko, binayad ko na kasi yun beforehand nang isubmit namin yung cost of, itong show money, itong bank statement na to. Binayad ko na yun ahead of time para makakuha na ako ng offer of place, tsaka invoice and receipt na I've already paid my tuition fee. So, ito na yung proof, yung offer of place. Papel yun na enrolled ka na. Binayad ko na siya. Kaya hindi na siya hanapin sa akin sa show money. Understood? Okay. Yan. Very good. So, yun yung naging technique ko. Actually, iba-iba yan per agent. And meron din akong ibang videos na bibigyan ko kayo ng overview for student visa. And syempre, again, these things are based from my experience na binigyan ko lang ng konting touch na immigration. Syempre naman, magsabi na tayo ng totoo. Diba? Of course, I want you guys to feel na these things that I'm publishing are based sa experience ko. Hindi ko to inimbento or something. Kasi ito rin naman yung sana meron akong narinig na ganitong channel na pag-aralan ko ba yung strategy ko para kung maging estudyante ako. Kaya that's why I'm just paying it forward na at least if you are really deciding na kung ito yung path na iti-take nyo, well, naranasan ko na siya. So, I'm just kind of generous enough to share it to you guys. So, doon ako nanggagaling. And yeah, so that's all, that's the common show money mistakes. And also bear in mind lang, always keep this in your mind and in your heart. Now, whenever you are going to prepare for any requirements na isasabi nyo sa immigration, think like an immigration officer, diba? Na isipin mo, ano ba, kapanipaniwala ba to? Reliable ba tong gagawin ko? Para at least, diba, yun lang naman yung, hindi naman siya secret tip, no? Siguro, hindi lang tayo basta magpapasa ng requirements. We're also thinking that, na we are reliable enough in making sure it's accurate within ourselves na para hindi na tayo dadating sa rejection and so on. Ayan. Daming chika. Anyway, eto. Of course, guys, I want to promote na once you know your target amount, you still need to get it into an acceptable verified account, often converting Philippine peso to NZ. So, I'm just promoting Wise na ang Wise ay makita nyo na ang charges. Wala siyang hidden fees. So, if meron akong isasuggest sa inyo na ginamit ko din siyang pangbayad sa agent ko, of course, use Wise. And I'll put the link in the comment section kung ano nga ba yung Wise na pwede kayo mag-register. Okay? So, tatanungin niyo ako, bakit mo pinopromote yung Wise? Alam nyo, meron akong ipapublish na video na yan, pero laking bagay kasi nung meron kayong let's say card na let's say from Philippine peso to NZ na pwede nyo nang itap, gamitin, pwede rin yun in USD. So, hindi na kayo kailangan magdala ng pera. Meron lang kayong card, nandun na lang yun. Okay. And then ito, this one, I'm just gonna be a bit of, let's say, realistic on this. Kasi, dami kasi nagsasabi sa akin na, Faith, paano ba, pwede ba ako maging estudyante? Pwede ba kung paano ba, ano bang in-demand na course? Ano bang gagawin ko sa New Zealand? Sama ko yung family ko. Ang dami yung question. And, alam ko for sure gusto nyo lang ma-check na kung swak kayo sa New Zealand or kung kung nasan kayo, where you are at, or your work background, ano bang course ko. Ang masasabi ko lang is, email me and then schedule a one-on-one session with me. Alam mo kung bakit importante ito? Kasi, iba-iba kasi tayo ng background actually. Doon ko nga na-realize na, this is realistically speaking, ang mga taong nagtatribe sa ibang bansa is, glimpse na to, talagang panlaban yung work experience nyo. And with that being said, gusto ko rin maintindihan kung ano yung background mo, kung nasang stage ka na ng nasang stage pa yung family mo at the moment. Kaya, nag-offer ako ng one-on-one coaching. Kasi, iba-iba to. Like, pwede ko rin sabihin sa'yo na, huwag ka na lang pumunta. Sobrang, diba? Sobrang straightforward. Or, let's say, kung ano yung mga preparation na kailangan mong i-prepare kung sasama mo yung family mo sa New Zealand. So, let's go now to the next one. Oh, we're done. Thank you so much for watching. So, please like, share these people who are aspiring to be an international student in New Zealand. And of course, please subscribe for more real talk guides on the New Zealand student pathway as a Filipina. And just drop your comments in the comment section. That's it, Pansit. Thank you so much, guys, and see you in the next video. Bye!